we'll get it.
Okay, but you're all right. Because I speak loud enough, I don't think there's a problem.
Perfect.
But anyhow, you had a chance to look down through that fee schedule. And that's going to be voted tonight. Understand that with the policy, we can revise that, but that's not an easy route to take. This fee schedule can be revised as we see fit if it comes to that. Hopefully not, but we can always do that. So as you read down through it, we're going to vote on it. And of course, you can oppose it if that's what you believe. So we're going to do that. Secondly, we have some people that we're appointing to different positions in our sports program. That's usual fare for this committee. And I would say that today we started officially with our fall sports programs. So we are now into fall sports, and we have different athletic teams using facilities. There'll be adjustments in reference to that because of just the mechanics of it, and it will be worked out, and it should be fine. So I just bring that to everybody's attention. This is called heat acclimation today, whatever that is. You understand? So, Mr. President, for tonight, that's what I have.
All right, so the fall athletics are up and running, and we have a fee schedule. We'll vote on that during the meeting this evening. Any questions for Mr. Geronimo? On to budget and finance, Mrs. Allbaugh.
Nothing until the regular meeting. Thank you, Dr. Wood.
All right, under education committee has two items that we're going to talk about at this point. Mr. Demarcus, could you take us through Title I, a school-wide plan for Jackson and Cambria Elementary School? So this is an item that we voted on during the official business meeting this evening. The floor is yours, Mr. Demarcus.
Perfect. So a little technical difficulties trying to get the live stream and everything up and running. So I'll just talk about it all for everything. So we get Jackson and Cambria Elementary are both Title I funded. That is federal government funding, and we are both school-wide funded. So that means that some school districts in our area will be targeted, where only a small percentage of students are seen by Title I funds. We are school-wide, which means that any student, no matter K through 5, you can have the opportunity to work with our reading specialist in small group during RTI, during guided reading. A couple of things that I wanted to touch base about are the goals that we set for Title I and we set out to do for the school year. Just to recap from last year very quickly, our Title I goal was class size reduction. Last year we had to move some of our Title I teachers into classrooms. What we did at that point was to shrink all of the classrooms from about 20 to about 15 to create social distancing. So that was the purpose of our goals last year. Other goals last year that we had were professional development in technology. Myself and Mr. Strittmatter, the directors of technology, really had to help our teachers be able to live stream, be able to change their traditional settings into technology form. So those are our two goals for last year. Moving forward for this year, we have about 5 goals. There are, back in July, we met, Dr. Mazoris and I met with families. We invited them into our building. We met with a school board member as well as any teachers that wanted to be involved. We came in and we decided, what does our school want to work on? What are our goals for this year? So we came up with 5 goals for this year, 4 for Jackson and then 5 for Cambria. First 4 are all the same. So first one was more guided reading resources. We wanted to make sure our students were equipped with more high-level content, with stories that are more relevant to their real-life experiences. We're going to do that by purchasing more interesting guided reading books for them. Goal number 2, we have adopted a standard-based report card for grades K through 3. During one of the events, one of our community members said, we want more information on the standard-based report card. So Dr. Mazoris and I will have an individual meeting for family members to come in, and we'll be able to explain the standard-based report card, aligning our curriculum to the exact of the standards for Pennsylvania. Goal number 3 is a writing resource that we want for K through 5. We are adopting a new writing resource called Collins Writing. This was a thing that a topic that teachers really wanted over the past couple years. What this is going to do is going to align us K through 5 using the same jargon, using the same kind of resources for writing curriculum. And this isn't just a writing block. This is cross-curricular to where they're going to take these concepts and implement them into reading, math, science, STEAM, all across the board. And our last goal, or goal number 4 for both buildings, we want to have better parent communication. So Dr. Mazoris and I are going to set out and have our teachers, they're going to have at least a 2-week positive contact that they will be reaching out to parents, as well as we are going to require all teachers to have a weekly newsletter sent home to parents to let them know what's going on in the classroom, just bridging that gap between school and home, as well as something we talked about in our committee meeting was to a place where resources, if you want to support your child in different ways, this is where you go. So that's going to take place on our school website. Our teachers will have resources for them. And the final goal that we have for this one is specifically for Cambria. Cambria, as we know, is about double the size of Jackson. And so we run an RTI and guided reading system for the small group instruction. And in order for those groups to be as effective and efficient as possible, you need quality staff members. And so our final goal for Cambria is to hire an additional 2 instructional aides that will be strictly for these small group guided reading lessons, to where then we can have groups of 10 as our tier 1, groups of 5 to 7 as our tier 2, and our highest intervention is going to be tier 3 with roughly 1 to 3 students. So just to be more efficient and more effective education across the board. Those are our 5 goals that we're going to put in place, the 4 for Cambria and Jackson, and the 1 addition for Cambria. Any questions from the board?
So remind us why this reading thing is so important in the elementary school years. Please do, and Dr. Mazoris, if you would chime in as well.
Absolutely. I like to put this as, in K through 3, you're reading to learn. And then, you're learning to read. And then in 3 through 5, you're reading to learn. And if you don't set that foundation of critical thinking and ability to comprehend text and develop opinions, that's what creates the success in the higher grade level. So us putting important things in place and setting some goals will allow that to take place in grades K through 3.
Dr. Mazoris, what are your thoughts?
I think Dr. Myers says it perfect when she says it's elementary teachers' job to instill that love of reading. And she has an incredible list of ideas for this year. We're going to expand classroom libraries. Try not to force it as much as getting them to want to just go get a book and read it. So that's another little goal we have for this year.
Absolutely.
One of the things that shows the importance of elementary, especially developmental reading, is I remember, going back, I can't remember who the person who said it years ago, at times, teaching reading, that a municipality accurately predict the number of prison cells they need based on 3rd grade reading scores. So if that doesn't show you how important reading is, I don't know what does.
Lots of people these days drive by and say, wow, what a fancy district you have because of your ball fields. They're shiny and they're nice, but there's better stuff happening inside the curriculum. And so this is a nice example of what we're doing in elementary and so the Title I.
Absolutely. And then just one last thing, we have 3 kind of Title I events for the community. We'll have a Title I involvement night where you will get to come in, talk about Title I, where this money could be going and what resource we can buy. We have a family literacy night where our Title I teachers put on a show for you guys, as well as give resources to the families, and then as well as our school-wide planning. So next May, I'll send another email out to invite you all to come into the building and help plan this school-wide plan together.
Strong emphasis on reading in the elementary.
Absolutely.
Okay, good stuff. Thank you. Any questions from Mr. DeMarcus or Dr. Mazoris before we shift gears?
And then, sorry, it will be up to a vote. Just so
Yes, that is on the agenda for a vote.
Perfect. Thank you.
The other item under education, Ms. Bendar. Yes, so one of the things that affects a large percentage of our students as we begin to start the new school year are issues related to busing. Bendar, could you give us the highlights of
Where do you want me to stand?
would you stand in front of the mic there, please?
Sure. Good evening. For those that might not know me, and sorry for my back to the ones back here in the room, my name is Kim Bednar. I'm the Transportation Director here at Central Cambria School District. I just wanted to highlight some of the few roles that we've established as a district the past couple of years. And one of the biggest things, it was the second year after I started, I eliminated the alternate bus transportation request. And I know Dr. Murin and Dr. Mazores, for being elementary principals, the amount of requests that we would get in from parents for kids to go to sleepovers, birthday parties, et cetera, to ride different buses, it was astronomical. We completely eliminated that. There are times if there's emergencies that I would have the parents request, call me directly, email me, requesting for that one-time transportation if there's an emergency situation. If for some reason we can't get a hold of me, of course, the building principal can approve that situation. With that in mind, we also have established AM stop for each child and 1 PM stop for each child, meaning they can't get on the bus at one location one day, a different location another day, et cetera, for the afternoon. However, the AM could be, say, it's easiest to be at home every day, they get on the bus. In the afternoon could be a different location, but it's going to daycare, going to the neighbor's house, et cetera, but it has to be consistent Monday through Friday. Another thing we established is for the elementary grade levels, K through 5, that there has to be a parent or guardian to get them on and off the bus. In the afternoon, of course, if there's an older sibling that's in the middle school, they can get them off the bus. We, of course, do have times where things happen, parents not home. We do the best. I try to get a hold of the parents, that's where the emergency contacts come into great play. As far as if we can't get a hold of the parents, we move one down the line. If we cannot get a hold of them, of course, I reach out to Dr. Mazores or Mr. DeMoncus, and we have that student taken back to the elementary school until we are able to get a hold of the parent to come pick up the child. Also, of course, for this upcoming school year, as of now, masks will be required for the students and the drivers while they are on the bus. So we're establishing what we did last year, excuse me, in regards to the students. As they get on the bus for first stop, they will go to the back of the bus and sit from the back to the front. They will be expected, if they have siblings, to sit with their siblings. If there's no siblings, then they will be expected to sit with if there's another child at that bus stop or just the very next bus stop. So if we would have to quarantine or anything like that, that's the best way to handle that situation. And then, of course, they would sit in the same seat coming home as well. One of the other things, or bigger thing that changed for this year, is for the week prior to school and the first week of school, there will not be any bus change requests accepted during that time, because I need to get the times and the routes best set up for the drivers to do their runs in order to figure out where the kids are, because how new kids coming in or 5th graders coming to 6th grade, everything, new kindergarten students, to get that established. And so the plan is on the week before school, Thursday, August 19th, the bus routes will be posted on the district website under departments, under transportation. Of course, there'll be AM and PM routes for middle school, high school, separately listed for Cambria Elementary and for Jackson Elementary. Is there any questions at this time from the board or
Any
anybody
questions
else?
at all about busing?
Yeah, Kim, asked the same question I'm gonna ask, right?
When are we getting our bus out?
It is coming along good. I've been working with First View, establishing some of the guidelines. We anticipate by the 1st of October, we'll have it, but that'll be everything that's set up, but then we'll have some tests, like we'll have some parents will reach out, and I'll reach out to you to see if we make sure to get any glitches out of the way. But it'll definitely be up and running for any parent, whether K through 12, that would want to have the app in time for December, in time for the winter. This one is the anticipated, but October is when we'll be able to start acclimating it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Any other questions? We thank you very much for you and your staff to offer transportation to our students safely, and the logistics of that job are mind-numbing. So thank you for all that you do to make that system work so well. All right, thank you very much. We're on to Legislative Committee. Mrs. Lee. Personnel Committee, Dr. Rice.
Nothing until actionable items in the regular meeting, Dr. Woods. Thank you.
Policy Committee, back to Dr. Rice.
We will No, we'll just have some informational items to explain during the regular meeting.
Great, thank you, Dr. Rice. Property and building, Mr. Gibson.
Nothing until the regular meeting.
Special projects, back to you, Mr. Gibson.
Yes, nothing until the regular meeting.
And then technology committee, Ms. Devlin. Right, good stuff. Right, so we'll begin, we'll call the regular meeting to order. And we have an announcement that the board of directors held an executive session for personnel matters at 6 p.m. before this meeting. I'm going to invite you all to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Moving for approval of the minutes from the July 12th meeting.
I will motion to approve the July 12th minutes.
Motion and seconded by Ms. Devlin. Question on the motion, Mr. Duranda.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, all yeses. Public comments. So public comments, there's 2 periods for public comment. First is anything that's on the agenda. So any topic that's on the agenda, you can talk about at this time. If you have a topic that you would like to discuss that's not on the agenda, we're going to ask you to wait to the second public comment. So this is going to be public comment on any items that are on the agenda. All right. Look forward to your comments at the end of the meeting. Treasurer's report, Mrs. Lee, please.
I'm going to be presenting May and June treasurer's report. Cash balance as of April 30th, 2021, $109,376.36. Total revenue, $2,420,304.89. Total expenditures and investments, $2,423,692.34. Cash balance as of May 31st, 2021, $105,988.91. As of the June report, as of May 30th.
Can we do a motion for the May report? No, would that be okay?
Yes.
So that is in the form of a motion. Can we get a second for that?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gibson. Question on the motion, Mr. Duranda.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, all yeses. Sorry for the interruption. On to June.
June treasurer's report, cash balance of May 31st, 2021, $105,988.91. Total revenue, $8,566,999.86. Total expenditures and investments, $8,517,336.92. Cash balance of June 30th, 2021, $155,651.85.
Form of motion, second by Mrs. Devlin. Question on the motion, Mr. Gibson.
Yes.
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 Yes,
Yes.
Yes, all yeses. Anything else, Mrs. Lee?
that's all.
Thank you very much. On to superintendent's report, Dr. Moore.
Thank you, Dr. Woods. I have 2 items that I'm requesting action on. First item is the list of first student bus drivers and monitors for the 21-22 school year. I'm going to request that form of motion.
Second.
Well, so moved from Dr. Rice, seconded by Mrs. Devlin. Question on the motion, Mr. Gibson.
Yes.
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 Yes, all yeses. Back to you, Dr. Moore.
Okay, second item, recommending that we enter into agreements to sell or purchase meals from sponsor to sponsor with the following: nutrition group to provide food services for 21-22 school year, pending completion of the application process. And you should list their AYS community action the name Learning Lamp and Treasured Time. So I request that in the form of motion also, please.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Dr. Rice. Question on the motion, Mr. Duranda.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, all yeses. Anything else, Dr.
Yes.
Superintendent?
The two items, I just want to thank the summer maintenance crew. Mr. Schaefer leads a group of part-time employees here that work in the summer. We had some help with Career Link. They've done an amazing job. Got some painting, a lot of cleaning done. They just did an incredible amount of work. Put the pressure on this year for Mr. Schaefer because we ended school a little bit later than we typically do. So we still have the same expectations to have all of the rooms ready to go, and expectations. The second item, we approved the list of bus drivers. We can't thank the bus drivers that we have enough. I mean, certainly frontline workers, difficult job. I taught and had 25, 30 kids in front of me. I could not imagine having 60 kids behind me and trying to manage behavior while we're driving a vehicle. But Deb and First Student did a great job of getting our drivers all the safety aspects of their training. If I'm correct, that we still need a few drivers though, right? So it's good time to recruit, make a good pitch. Yeah, there is a driver shortage across the country. Anytime that the economy gets a little bit better and wages go up, typically a driver shortage. It's a great rewarding job for retirees or just about anybody who's looking for a part-time job. You get to work with kids, and what's better than that? So, anybody's interested, talk to Deb, call Deb, call First Students. If you know anybody looking for a part-time job, we can use it. So that's all I have.
We'll just say everybody to sign that sheet in the back of the room officially. All right, so thank you to bus drivers. Greg, how was your summer, Greg? Good stuff. Thank you all for the efforts that you put in on behalf of building important. Anything else, Dr. Superintendent?
No.
Right, on to Athletics Committee, Mr. Duranda.
Number one, it is recommended that Jackie Bracken be hired for the position of junior high girls basketball coach, effective the start of the 21-22 winter sports season, at a stipend as indicated by the collective bargaining agreement, and that's in the form of a motion.
Second.
Properly motioned and seconded. Vote, Mr. Duranda?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, all yeses.
Number two, it is recommended that Matt Miller be hired for the 21-22 fall sports season in the position of weight training supervisor as indicated in the collective bargaining agreement, and that's in the form of a motion.
Second.
Properly motioned and seconded. Mr. Gibson?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, all yeses.
It is recommended that Carlos Barra be hired for the 21-22 fall sports season to the position of girls varsity assistant soccer coach as stipend as indicated in the collective bargaining agreement. That's in the form of a motion.
Second.
Properly motioned and seconded. Mr. Gibson?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, all yeses.
And number four relates to the fee schedule that I discussed earlier. It is recommended that the fee schedule for use of Central Cambria School District facilities be approved as submitted. That's in the form of a motion.
Properly motioned and seconded, and we thank everyone who put time into that. That's a hard project. Mr. Santini, Mr. Wilson, Mr. Duranda, Athletics Committee, that's important work. Making sure that we get fair access to the facilities, but that we protect our investment for the long term. So properly motioned and seconded. Vote, Mr. Gibson?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, all yeses. Anything else, Mr. Duranda?
Just one informational item there, which you have, so. 'So, that's it. Thank you.
Budget and Finance. Mr. Gibson?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes Allbaugh.
This is the part of the meeting where we vote on paying the bills. This is the Budget and Finance Committee on August 9th, 2021. First two items we'll take together. The committee recommends placing the 2021-22 student insurance with Bollinger Specialty Group at an annual premium of $35,331. Voluntary accident coverage rate for school home coverage $30 and for 24-hour coverage of $113. And second, the Finance Committee recommends the following bids be awarded for the 2021-22 school year. And the summary of the bids is attached. It's for our diesel fuel, gasoline, and fuel oil, and that's in the form of a motion. Second.
Properly motioned and seconded. Mr. Gibson?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, all yeses. Back to you, Mrs. Allbaugh.
Thank you. Number three, the Finance Committee moves for the payment of bills in the amount of $2,085,43. I'm sorry, $2,085,043.43 is listed on the accounts payable due report, which is attached and be made part of the minutes, and that's in the form of a motion.
Second by Mrs. Lee. Question on the motion, Mr. Durando.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Abstain?
Yes, so one abstention. Back to you, Mrs. Allbaugh.
Thank you. And the rest of the report we will take as a consent agenda. Number four is the payment of June and July disbursements made prior to the board meeting. Number five is the payment of the capital items, and that's to be made part of the minutes. Number six, the Finance Committee moves to the approval of the May 2021 activity account. And number seven, the Finance Committee makes the May 2021 and June 2021 food service operating statement part of these minutes. And those four items are submitted in the form of motion.
Second?
Seconded by Mr. Gibson. Question on the motion, Mr. Gibson.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, all yeses. Anything else, Mrs. Allbaugh?
That's
Budget
it.
and Finance.
Thank you, sir.
Education Committee has one item. It's recommended that the Title I school-wide plan for Jackson and Cambria Elementary Schools for the 2021-2022 year be approved as submitted in the form of a motion.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Duranda. Question on the motion, Mr. Duranda.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, all yeses. The curriculum report is submitted for your review, but no items will be further expanded on unless someone has a question for Dr. Meary. Seeing none, that will be the end of the Education Committee report. On to Legislative Committee. That will be Mrs. Lee.
There is no actionable item.
Personnel Committee, Dr. Rice.
It is recommended that Stephanie Young, effective the start of the 2021-22 school year, be hired to the position of elementary teacher at Jackson Elementary in accordance with the collective bargaining agreement. And that is in the form of a motion.
Second.
So we have a motion and yet a second. Second by Mrs. Devlin. Question on the motion.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, all yeses.
It is recommended in the form of a motion that Stephen Westrick be hired with the effective dates to be determined by the administration to the position of guidance counselor, high school, in accordance with the collective bargaining agreement.
Motion and seconded. Mr. Duranda.
Yes.
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 Yes, all yeses. And Mr. Westrick with us this evening. Welcome to the district. Great place to be. We're glad you're on our team. Appreciate it. Back to you, Dr. Rice.
Right, it is recommended in the form of a motion that Jacob Lee be hired with the effective date to be determined by the administration to the position of science teacher middle school in accordance with the collective bargaining agreements.
Probably motioned and seconded by Mrs. Devlin. Question on the motion, Mr. Gibson.
Yes.
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 Yes, all yeses, one abstention. We welcome Mr. Lee to the district as well. The Okay, well, we welcome him in absentia. Back to you, Dr. Rice.
All right, it is recommended in the form of a motion that the retirement request of Felicia Young, Cambria Elementary teacher, be accepted effective immediately, and both the April 1st notification requirement under the collective bargaining agreement and the requirement to return to work following the sabbatical for restoration of health be waived on an individualized and non-precedent setting basis due to satisfactory evidence of illness precluding her return, and that the administration be authorized to post the vacancy, advertising if deemed necessary.
The motion, we're looking for a second. Second by Mrs. Lee. Question on the motion, Mr. Durando.
Yes.
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 Yes, all yeses.
It is recommended in the form of a motion that Brianne Eisenberg be hired to the position of Administrative Office Secretary with effective date to be determined by the administration pending all receipt of necessary paperwork.
Second by Mrs. Devlin. Question on the motion, Mr.
Yes.
Gibson.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, all yeses. Mrs. Eisenberg with us this evening. All right, welcome aboard. It's an important job. We're glad you're on our team. Welcome to the district. Thank everybody that served as part of the search committees to bring qualified candidates to the district. Back to you, Dr. Rice.
It is recommended in the form of a motion that the list provided by Ignite Education Solutions of substitutes from returning from last year be approved.
Second.
Seconded by Mrs. Devlin. Question on the motion, Mr. Gibson.
Yes.
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 Yes, all yeses.
And we have an informational item that lists all the individuals who've been added to the substitute list through Ignite Education Solutions, and that includes the personnel report.
All right, and so with personnel, back to you for policy.
So for information, we have a list of policies that have been approved for first reading, and they will be presented at the September 13th, 2021 board meeting for approval. And those policies cover local board procedures.
And so some light reading to do between now and September.
Indeed.
All right, anything else, Dr. Rice?
That concludes. Thank you, Dr. Woods.
All right, property and building, Mr. Gibson, please.
I have one item tonight. It is recommended that the administration, in coordination with Eccles Architecture and Engineering, be authorized to advertise for sealed bids for alterations to the Central Cambria High School technology classroom, high school restroom renovations. Notice will be advertised in 2 local newspapers, general circulation for 3 consecutive weeks with a public bid opening via Zoom meeting on Thursday, September 2nd, 2021 at 10 a.m. That's in the form of a motion.
Properly motioned by Dr. Rice, or properly seconded by Dr. Rice. Question on the motion, Mr. Durando.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, all yeses. Anything else for property and building?
that's it this time.
Thanks very much. Special projects, Mr. Gibson.
No actionable items tonight.
Technology committee, Ms. Devlin.
Well, if you read the technology report, there are a lot of items, things happening to update the new equipment coming, which is a good thing. Lots of new equipment and a lot of changes to put that new equipment into play. And I'm sure everyone's looking forward to using that new equipment. So looks like it's going to be good stuff happening.
All right, good stuff in the
That's all I have.
technology world. Thank you very much. Any questions for Mrs. Devlin? Mrs. Devlin and our technology staff. CCEA representative, any comments this evening?
I think everyone can agree that the 2019-2020 school year was the most bizarre that we have ever encountered as teachers. 2020-2021 was without a doubt the most difficult in ways that we could never have before imagined. When we left the buildings in June, we were all so very hopeful that this coming school year would land us back in a world of normalcy. As the new school year is quickly approaching, it is becoming clear that we will once again need to redefine normal. We have a year of uncertainty ahead of us. As always, we will all work together to do our best to make this a great year for all of our students. Please keep in mind, though, that as we, the teachers, are just starting to feel comfortable with all of the technology that was involved with making last year happen virtually and in person, we now will be faced with an entirely new operating system of technology that the majority of us have absolutely no experience with. So, as we did last year, we are again asking and understanding as we face another year of uncertainty and events beyond our wildest imaginations. But also know that we are looking forward with hope that we can make this a great year for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Woods, if I could add that, talking about the teachers, I just want to acknowledge Felicia Young. I personally am going to miss her. She's a fantastic teacher, but even better person, and she's made a huge impact on a lot of kids here. And just wish her the best.
That is a great legacy to have left an impact on young lives that will stretch deeply into the future. So how about a round of applause? All right, good stuff. So we're going to move things around on the agenda because we just are. Like that, then you can leave the next meeting. So we're going to do public comment on non-agenda items at this point, and then save solicitor and board comment and media questions for afterwards. So public comment on items. So we have 10-minute time limit on each topic. So we can do 5 minutes per, and so let's start there. So we'll entertain public comment on non-agenda items. When you come forward, come to the mic, articulate your name and which portion of the district that you reside in, so that the recording secretary can have that for the minutes. Floor is open. Okay, then I would ask you to come forward and say your name into the mic, and recording secretary, you have a clock there for me. All right. Go ahead.
All right. My name is Jan Michaelo. I'm a resident of Jackson Township, and I will have 2 children attending the high school this fall. I'm here today representing a group of Central Cambria parents who fully support the board's decision to make masks optional for our students this year, as outlined in the health and safety plan that was approved last month. With the health and safety plan now under debate, scrutiny, and possibility of being changed, our group circulated a petition with the help of a group called Pennsylvania Parents Protecting Children. In summary, the petition states that our intention is to advocate for keeping masks optional in our buildings. We would like them optional at our events and activities, and we would like them optional on the buses as well. As of last night, we have a total of 238 signatures of adults who reside within our district, and I have that for anybody who would like that. I do think it's important for everyone on either side of the debate to remember that we all have the best interests of our children in mind. We all have very valid concerns. This is something we've been living with now since March 13th of 2019. So, was it 2019? I know was it 20? Oh, it seemed a lot longer. It seemed like it's been years. So I just think it's important for everyone to keep that in mind. And I commend the board on letting us come and speak today to give our opinions on that. I'd also like to commend our district administration, faculty, and our teachers on the incredible job they did managing the whole year through this pandemic. It's definitely not an easy job to do. You get everybody's complaints. You probably more likely hear complaints more often than you hear praises. I think that's just the general nature of how the job goes. It's not an easy job to have, and I hope I speak for many when I say thank you. And I know I'm proud to have my children be in the Central Cambria School District, and I do trust that everyone will make the right decisions.
Thank you very much.
I don't know if anyone else.
How
how long my time was, if there's anybody else.
Okay, so we have a couple more minutes if anybody else would like to speak on that side of that issue. Okay, so if I see no one else moving towards the mic, then we'll close to 5 minutes on that side of the issue. Okay, and if there would be anyone that would like to speak in opposition or to the other side of that issue. All right, so if you would say your name, articulate where you reside, and then your 5 minutes will begin.
Okay, my name is Misty Smith. I live in Evansburg, Cambria Township, and I have a daughter who's going into the 6th grade. I have a son who's 22, graduated from here. So we have had a long time in this district. I'd like to just start out by saying I think every single person in this room can agree on at least one thing, and that is that we want to see our kids in school full-time, in person, no more virtual, no more remote, no more hybrid. We all know that what our kids need are to be in school, okay? But I do think we need to stay seated in facts and in data and in science, and not just our own thoughts and feelings of what we want to see happen, because that doesn't really matter. What matters is that we keep our kids safe and we protect them as best that we can. We have a tool, a very simple, basic tool that can protect our children. It is this thing that I have on my face right now. It's a mask. It's not a lot to ask, to put one on, and I get it. We're all tired of it. But it doesn't matter how we feel if we're tired of it. That's not what matters. We had a great summer, but now we have Delta variant. Delta variant is as transmissible as chickenpox. You can infect up to 8 to 9 people apiece when you're transmitting the Delta variant. We have 72,000 additional child hospitalizations in the last 1 week. That is a 45% uptick in child hospitalizations. This is serious. Our kids were more protected last year with the original COVID virus. This is a new Delta variant. These kids who are 12 and under cannot be vaccinated. It is not fair to them that they have to be around people who may infect them or may infect each other simply because they don't have the option to be protected with a vaccine, which is the #1 tool that we can use. I know the July plan did point to mask mandating, waiting for the government to do a mask mandate. Well, we all know that's not going to happen. The governor has said over and over again that he's not going to do that. So there's no more waiting and seeing if that's going to happen. So I do believe that needs to be removed from that policy because it makes no sense to keep that in there when we know there will never be a statewide mask mandate. What the governor wants is for you guys to make the right choice, and he has said this, to follow the CDC guidelines. We have the CDC, the Department of Health, the Department of Education, the National Teachers Union Board, the NEA just came out and said they support universal masking. The AAP is saying the same thing. It doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not, we are all spreading it. It is just the nature of the new variant. I'd like to also react to the petition that was just brought out that's going around. I would like you guys to understand that every point in the petition is an absolute falsehood. None of it is based in fact whatsoever. I have packets for each of you. I'll take one and pass them around, and it points to every single claim that is made in that petition and proves without a doubt that they are wrong. You can substantiate my claims and my articles 1,000,000 times over in good resources. I'm a librarian. This is my job, to know what's good and what's real and what's valid. And we cannot be listening. And I know it's tempting to maybe bend and listen to the squeaky wheels and the ones who are more dramatic and emotional and are going to get up in your faces about this. But the fact is, one sick child or worse in our district is not worth it. We need to do everything that we can, and it is just so very simple. I honestly can't even believe we're having this conversation. It is just so simple. And you guys know this, the children don't care. My daughter walks around with her mask on and forgets to take it off. It's the parents that teach those kids that this is a big deal and that this is a problem. Let's just keep them safe. I thank you guys so much for already having on your meeting list that you're going to meet again on the 23rd and discuss this, because it's important and so much has changed since your last policy that you put in place. So please take the science into your consideration. Please protect our children, and don't bend to just what people want and what they feel like they want to see happen. Thank you.
Time is left on the clock.
There was 4 minutes and 3 seconds, so let's
Okay, so we have another minute if anybody else would like to speak on this issue, on that side of this issue. So if you would articulate your name and tell us where you live, and then you have your minute.
Hi, I'm Ross Kleinstuber. I live in Crestwood in Cambria Township. I have a daughter going into 6th grade and a son going into 3rd grade, neither of whom are old enough to be vaccinated. And unlike Misty, I don't have a whole bunch of information to back up any position. And I understand that both sides of this debate are very passionate. And I believe that everybody that's spoken wants what's best for all of our children. I'm not an infectious disease expert. I don't know what the right answer is. And I don't envy your position at all. I am glad to be sitting there instead of there. The way I think about it is, if the proponents of masking are right, and we don't put masks on, we're putting people in danger. If, on the other hand, the proponents of not requiring masks are correct, and we make people wear masks, it's uncomfortable. And for me, I'd rather err on the side of caution. I'd rather people be unnecessarily uncomfortable and we look back 10 years from now, it's like, looks like we didn't need to do that, sorry kids, than somebody get a fatal infection and die, or pass it on to someone who then, as I've lost family members due to this disease. Would a mask have saved them? I have no idea. Right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I applaud everyone who has spoken, and I appreciate that we have done this with civility. This is a difficult issue. No one in the room has gone untouched by the COVID virus, either directly or by family. And certainly if you have children in the district or teach in the district, the last 15, 16 months have just been unprecedented. So I appreciate that we had a civil conversation about that, and commend everyone for their willingness and ability to do that. Now I'll stop talking. So that issue has been addressed. Are there other issues that are non-agenda items that anyone would like to speak to? Okay, seeing none, we will bring that portion of the meeting to a close. The public comment on non-agenda items. We will return to the agenda and we'll go to our peer legal group solicitor for the solicitor report.
We have no public report this evening.
Okay. Comments for the good order of the organization board members. Okay, then I will make them. So we have, I would like to have, in order to get a special meeting, we need 3 members of the board to concur that a special board meeting should take place. So the motion is that we plan to have a special board meeting on Monday, August 23rd, at 7 p.m. for the sole purpose of revisiting the health and safety plan. I will be the one of 3. Do I have 2 other people that would account for that? Mr. Duranda and Dr. Rice. That being said, we have 3 board members that are requesting a special board meeting. It will take place on that date at that time. Okay. This is a hard issue. I got to tell you that on some level, I hope that the governor would take, I hope that we would get leaders that would lead during times of pandemic. That it would not be put on this body to make decisions related to the health and safety plan and masking and social distancing and buses and non-buses and athletics and extracurriculars. I really hope that people that do virology with PhDs and they do this all day long and they have good buddies at the CDC and they think about this on levels I can't even fathom would be making the directives. But they have decided they don't want to do that. So it's going to fall to the board to make this decision. So I'm going to ask that an ad hoc committee on health and wellness be organized over the course of the next 2 weeks to work with the district administration to analyze this issue in as many ways as possible, from as many different viewpoints as possible, to make recommendations in 2 weeks based on what we see best for the district. We need to keep our students in school. They learn better in school. If they're in school, we're sure everybody gets at least 1 or 2 good meals every day. There's socialization issues that need to be taken into account. We need them to be involved in their extracurricular activities. We need them to be engaged in being kindergarten through 12th graders. Now, as much normalcy as we did when we went through school, and so when we look back, we think about games and class projects that we did and who we went to the homecoming dance with. Those are the type of things that we need to make sure that we preserve for our children. So it's a busy time of year. Administrators are busy, board members are busy, tough. We got to get this looked at, we got to get this done. So the charge of the committee will be to, 1, examine data related to the COVID infection trends and disease logistics, including the Delta variant. 2, review recommendations by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Pennsylvania Department of Health, Pennsylvania Department of Education, and other scholarly sources to regards to appropriate response of schools to the pandemic, and bring back informed and creative solutions that we will discuss, debate, and eventually vote on the 23rd. Board members, if you volunteer, and I'm looking for a minimum of 3, you need to be available for in-person or electronic synchronized meetings on a regular basis between now and the special board meeting. We'll agree to engage in communications and turn around those communications within 12-hour periods. So if you get an email or a phone call on this topic, you can't ignore it. You need to engage. We'll agree to present the content of the committee's findings at a special board meeting on the topic of health and safety plan on Monday, the 23rd, 2021. We will, in addition, in collaboration with the administration, figure out who we need to bring into, what are the stakeholders that need to be part of this conversation. It's an awful lot of work to get done in 2 weeks, but that's the hand that we've been dealt. So I'm looking for volunteers to participate in this ad hoc committee on health and wellness. Looking for a minimum of 3. Mr. Dronda, Dr. Rice. I will join the committee and I will bring Mr. Simmers along for the ride. All right, serious work needs done between now and 2 weeks from now. We thank the members of the community that have come and offered their input. We all have the students' best interests at heart, and we'll do our best to carry out the charge. Any other comments for the good of the organization from board members?
Great day to be a devil.
Yeah, always is. All right, media questions afterwards. A motion to adjourn, Mr. Gronda, so moved. Thank you again, everyone, for coming out and being civil.